Like you said, we had a slow start. Once again, I thought going into the game we were ready. They came out in a zone, and we weren't expecting that. So I think that, especially in the Western Washington game, kind of threw us for a loop. And then, when you have 6-3 in the post, and we haven't seen 6-3 since the beginning of the year, I think finishing around the basket, I think we missed 4 or 5 layups that we usually would have had just because we're afraid, we were going to get blocked by Brinson. We made the adjustment, and then from there on, I know me especially, focusing around the rim was a big key to make sure, you just finish those easy ones because you're used to shooting them in practice. We've kind of hung our hat on defense this year, especially. Our goals going in is to take away from the team we're playing what they're good at and making them go to their second and third options. And with Western Washington, I think we did that. They have 2 very good all-conference players, posts, and we held them both to 10 points. Their leading scorer was somebody who's usually not in the top scoring area for that team, but defensively, Jenny does a great job with our scout, and we come in, we know who we're playing, we know our assignments, and we focus really hard on having each other's back if somebody is beat, so that if they do get to a basket, there's going to be that second line of defense. And I think that's definitely been a huge key for our success these last couple weeks. Simon Fraser, another very, very talented team. Which was interesting with them is they have 2 big, 6'3" girls again, but then the rest of their players shoot 3-pointers. And, they can do everything in between, but that's kind of, they have the 3-point game and they have the inside game. So you had to find that ground between keeping them from going off from the 3-point line, but also keeping their bigs in check. And I think we had a hard time at the beginning of the game. Like you said, we came out slow, but we made the adjustment. And the fact that we can make that adjustment and then move on from there and take a lead, that shows that I think we've grown. Obviously, we'd like to start a game, not down 8 points. Nobody wants to start a game like that. But being able to make the adjustment and then go from there is a really positive note for us that we can make that adjustment. We haven't had a ton of tough games. We lost a close one earlier this year against Academy of Art. So going in farther down the line, the fact that we've had 2 close games, and it shows that we can finish. Monica had a huge 3. Like you said, I made my free throws at the end of the game. But then obviously you score, but then you have to go back on defense. And what I thought was really neat out of the 2 games, both teams ended up with the ball, but they didn't even get a last-second shot off because our defense was right there. Riley, I think, had a huge block, and Marissa had a steal in the other game. So it shows, like you said, we just have to grind. And coming down to the end of the game, we know that we can grind it out with anybody. And Riley does a great job keeping control of the ball, and with everybody else, they know their role. And when it's time to step up, like Monica, you just bury that shot with confidence, and it's really exciting to be a part of. Fairbanks is a great team. They had a big win against SPU at home. We had a rough game up there, but, it's hard traveling to Alaska and whatnot. So we're definitely, we have 3 days to prepare for them. Very athletic, talented team. I think we're going to focus more. Obviously, we want to have a better start. We can't finish the rest of the year, being down by 10 points in the first quarter. So we're going to focus on that. And then defensively, again, taking away what they want to do. But then offensively as well, sometimes we let the other team dictate how we play. And I think we always need to be the aggressor. And when we're aggressive, teams can't. We have so many offensive weapons that they just can't keep up with us. So it'll be an interesting 3 days before a game, working hard and whatnot, but I'm really excited. It makes a huge difference that we're at home. Like I said earlier, that trip to Anchorage is just grueling. It's a lot of plane trips, sitting in the airport, whatnot. But Anchorage is a great team. We played hard. Everybody played really hard up there, but I don't think they got our best shot. I think we've improved a lot since then. And I'm excited to see how we play. I think we'll be ready for their pressure, and I think they'll obviously be preparing for us. They will have been able to watch and whatnot, but I'm really excited to play and show everybody in the GNAC why we are tied number 1, and it's going to be a great battle between the 2 number 1 teams to hopefully come out on top.
It's just another huge game. I think before that game, it was us, Anchorage, and Western all tied for that first place spot. So you always know it's going to be a big game, extra big. And Western has just always had really good tradition amongst their teams all the time. So we knew that it was going to be a big game, and that we had to show up and play. That first little bit got away from us a little bit, but after that, we reeled in. We do rely a lot on our defense, which I don't think is necessarily like a positive or a negative. I think it helps us more than anything. Defense is something that you really have to lock in. So, that shows me that at least, we're here and we're ready to play hard. It was a physical game. We had to grind the whole game. It wasn't something that we could ever take a break from. They, I think, hands down, are the best three-point shooting team in the GNAC. And when they get hot, they don't miss. Those girls know how to get open. They have a quick release. They are a very respectable team. I think that they lost some close games, early on, so their record says nothing about them. They were equally as dangerous for us as Western. All the teams in the GNAC are. But that game was extremely important for us to get done. They went on a little bit of a run, and then we reeled it back in. It got close towards the end, but, we just locked back in on defense and got the job done. But yeah, those 2 games on the road are going to be, once again, like hard games for us. So being able to get the 2-0 weekend here is just huge. I think when Coach was getting mad at us the other night, he said that I was the defensive coordinator or defensive captain. Felt like I stopped in a football game. It's important. For, when I had to sit out and watch, I missed playing defense. And then coming back into this, I am a firm believer that defense wins games and championships. And if you can't play defense, this team is not going to outshoot teams. And so for me, that role's huge. Nobody else is going to fill it on this team. It's mine, and I need to get it done. I need to help out the offensive end a little bit more. But, right now I just need to really focus on shutting down other teams' biggest offensive threats and keeping them off the boards and getting us those extra possessions. They're just crucial when it comes down to it, when we're beating teams by, 4 to 6 points. It's 3 possessions, 2 possessions in some cases. So just trying to work extra hard on the defensive end for those girls. Thursday's game is huge because if we drop an egg, that drops us out of the running for Anchorage. Every team can beat any team on any given night in this league. I think that is actually showed super early this year. Usually it happens later in the second half where there's some huge upsets, but this league is super competitive this year. As far as the Fairbanks, we didn't put a very good game together against them when we were up in Alaska, looking to definitely turn that around here. But they have some momentum going in. They just got a huge win over SPU, and the players are really playing. They've always been a second half, a second term team, and we need to take that seriously because the grind doesn't stop just because we're 9-1 in the first half. There's 10, 11 games left, minus the tournament, so it's not a time to take a break, that's for sure. And then Saturday, Anchorage. Yeah, that's a huge, I feel like we have a pretty big chip on our shoulder about that one. We all know that we did not play very well at all in Anchorage. And I can speak for me, I think the other girls are pretty excited to have them come down and we get another chance at them because I think it's going to be a very different game. I gotta say, I think that this team just gels. I think we've got the right mix of personalities. I feel like we've got the right type of people. I think we have just as many passive people as we have intense. I think everybody pushes each other in a positive way. This is really the first team that I've been on that we stick together so well out there when things get shaky. Nobody flakes out, nobody freaks out. And I think our biggest thing is we just grind. This team, when we look up at the scoreboard, it doesn't panic. It used to kind of panic me and previous teams in the end, but it doesn't matter. We're going to lock in on defense. We're going to get some steals, and I can't really say we just gel really good. It's just kind of one of those miracle type of things. As the GNAC picked us 7th, a lot of people didn't think that we were going to be here right now, and I think that forced us to gel pretty quickly too. Like we had a statement to prove that this team of little misfits can get it done. So, that's huge. That's an attest to the girls too, and especially the younger ones that haven't had the experience that Monica and I have had. They step up and play hard, and gotta love them for that.
It was 2 great wins for us against 2 very good teams at home last week. Both games we started slow, got down, I think, double digits in both of them early, but I thought the key in maybe both games was that we played very good second quarters to get back in the game against Western, and then to have a 10-point lead at halftime against Simon. I knew going in the games would be close, and down the stretch both games were. I was just proud of our players. I thought they competed hard. We got some key defensive stops in both games, and a couple key baskets in each game, and some clutch free throw shooting really helped us get the wins. Well, Alisha had a great weekend. I was glad that she got that honor. She deserves it. She can score in so many ways, whether it's three-point line, mid-range, in the post. She's passing the ball well. She impacted both games at both ends. The second game, we really needed her down the stretch at the free throw line as Simon made a great run late. But we're getting clutch play from a lot of people. Monica hit a huge 3 at the end of the Western game to put us up 6 with under 30 seconds left. And Riley found her open. I mean, you can just go through the different players, and they're making some really good decisions at tough times, or at least pressure times in close games. I thought we got some good bench play and just consistent play from our starters throughout our team. And anytime you can win close games in the GNAC, I think that makes you better. Yeah, they had a great weekend as well. I think that's the first time they'd beaten SPU in many years, so I expect them to come in with a lot of confidence. They play Tuesday night at Anchorage, I believe, and before coming here. We had a tough game there. I think it was just right at the first game of the calendar year. That was very close both ways. Down the stretch, and we were fortunate. I think we come ahead with 5 or 6 point win. But they have Jordan Wilson's one of the best players in the league. Very hard to guard, very versatile. Plays a lot like Alisha. So have our hands full with her, and they're getting some great play from other people. So and then. Anchorage will come in on Saturday, a little rested. They're just so athletic and deep and talented. I thought we played them pretty well up there. Pulled within 6 or 8 with maybe 4 or 5 minutes left, but then they kind of put us away with a run at the end, and I think they won by 20. But I'll be interested to see how we can play, how much we've improved over the last month when we play them. Well, I'm proud of them for that honor. They deserve that. They had a great week again with 2 wins over top teams in our league at home. Sometimes you want to hold serve at home, but it's easier said than done. And both of those games could have easily went the other way. So to get that honor for our entire program and our team is really a neat thing, and they should cherish it. But I'm sure on Thursday Alaska could care less, so we need to get ready to play.